mystery.
In our history.
Forgot I had that. Forgot I had that stuff.
Just a quick stop.
Yeah, just intro to this has nothing to do with the show.
Nope. We just come in hot with that intro.
Till I get a cease and desist. What's up, sheeple? Thanks for tuning in to the Mystery in Our History podcast, where we take an in-depth look at all things urban legends and conspiracy theory related and how they came to be. I'm J.R. Supa. Joining me as always is Chris Berry.
Yep.
Here we go. And actually, before we get started, both of us are sluggish today. So this is going to be a rough one.
Just bear with us, you know. It's Friday. It's been a long week, I think, on both ends.
Absolutely.
And
I'm sitting here with like a pound and a half of sushi in my stomach, feeling like I'm gonna throw up everywhere. And Chris told me when he jumped on this call that he feels like he just rolled out of a bucket of grease.
Yeah, totally, yeah.
So
shower game hasn't been great lately.
COVID,
a lot of working.
COVID fatigue has set in full swing.
Yeah, it's almost there.
Yeah, no, it's there. It's absolutely there. But here we go. We're gonna do our best, and it's kind of a light topic, right? It's lighthearted. It's we're this week we're heading to Italy. Figuratively speaking, of course, because neither of us can even afford that.
Yeah, and COVID won't let you travel, so
well, yeah,
double-edged sword.
Minor details, but we digress. We're headed to Venice, home of gondolas, floating houses, beautiful canals, and Poveglia Island, spelt Poveglia. For those of you who want to look it up, Poveglia. Poveglia Island is arguably the most haunted 17 acres in existence, due only to the sheer masses of people who have died there. We're talking about close to 200,000 people, not to mention the others that were dumped there after their death. But we'll get into that. So let's talk about this island, the island itself, for a minute.
Yeah. Dude, like a death count of 200,000, I think is going to be a pretty expensive history that we're in for.
Yeah, it's. I mean, this episode itself may not be one of our longer ones, but this is pretty interesting. I came across this when I was searching because I wanted to do another haunted episode, and this one was pretty freaking interesting, man.
It is, yeah.
So, seen on the Travel Channel's Ghost Adventures, this island is located between Venice and Lido in the Venetian Lagoon, northern Italy. Yeah.
I saw that Ghost Adventures, by the way.
Oh, did you?
I just want everyone to know, for the record, yeah.
Nice.
I'm pretty sure I own the box set on DVD even that has that episode on it. Not me personally. My partner loves Ghost Adventures.
You love ghost stories.
But I watch it with them, so whatever.
Well, a small canal divides the island, Poveglia Island, into two separate parts. And back when the bubonic plague ate up most of the world's population, the Romans had a clever idea to keep the healthies separated from the sickos. The plagued people were shipped off to Poveglia Island. There, people lived out the last of their wretched lives together until they croaked. Fun. And since the island already reeked of death, the next time the epidemic came along, barely alive bodies were also dumped there and burned in a mass grave. So in the 1920s, After all of that's taken place, because don't forget, like the bubonic plague lasted in Europe for hundreds of years, and like kept coming back. But anyway, in the 1920s, a mental hospital was built to welcome the island's newest guests, or anybody that showed symptoms of any sort of sickness, so of physical or mental. Literally, that's all this island has been used for hundreds of years, is just put sick people there.
That's awful.
Yeah. So basically, if you had an itch anywhere on your body, away you went to Poveglia, where you would sink your feet into the soil, which, by the way, is half dirt, half human ash, and be in the company of over 100,000 diseased ghosts. And what's more, the hospital was apparently run by a mad doctor. Because, I mean, of course, it's a mental institution run by a crazy person.
Yeah, it gets better.
And the mental hospital actually closed in 1968, and the island has been vacant ever since. And today, it is actually illegal to venture to the island. So there have been a few exceptions, obviously, like the Ghost Adventures have been able to film there. I'm sure that they just paid Venice a boatload of money, and Venice said, yeah, go for it, and we don't give a fuck if you die.
Yeah.
But essentially, yeah, dude, that's like, and that's the crazy part is I tried so hard to find like firsthand encounters.
Sure.
And it was very difficult because it's illegal to go to the island.
Right. Yeah. You can only watch Ghost Adventures for the first-hand experience if you have that now. So, yeah, man, I don't know. That island, though, like, part of you just wants to be like, what's wrong with them? Like, why were they just throwing all their sick here? But also at the same time, it's just like, you know, back then, that's the best way you can quarantine people. So it's like, but honestly, just like imagine being like one of those people left there to like rot away. Like imagine being one of those souls. It's just what misery.
And they also, like, we'll get into it too, they built a fucking crematorium. So like you just went there to die and then get burned.
Yep, and that was it. You never left.
Yeah. All right. So let's talk let's get in depth into the history of Poveglia Island.
Sure.
So the Venetian lagoon houses 166 islands, including a small island directly south of the Piazza San Marco, known as Poveglia. The small dot of land has housed people since at least the 5th century, when Romans escaped Goth and Hun invasions by fleeing to more defensible islands in the lagoon.
All the way back to the 5th century.
Yeah.
Doing his research.
You know I try.
I know. You're the history guy.
It's my Mike's mini history lessons coming out. So as Venice grew into a major power, Poveglia became an important defensive location, and in the 14th century, the Venetians built a fort on the island, establishing an outpost that could destroy enemy ships that tried to reach the city of Venice. But when the bubonic plague ravaged Europe, Poveglia Island became the quickest and eventually permanent solution to the outbreak. The Republic detained ships and travelers suspected of carrying the plague for a period of 40 days, and, fun fact, that's where the word quarantine itself comes from, the Italian word quaranta, or 40.
That checks out. That's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Man, it's funny that we talk about something like this, how we're just living through like a miniature version of this, obviously.
Yeah. We're
a very
living
miniature
through a
version,
pandemic.
but yeah.
I mean, it's still a plague.
Yeah, oh, of course.
Like,
yeah, it's just not as bad. In my opinion, people aren't dying in the streets right now.
Well, no, it's not. It's not as bad because medicine is different. You know
exactly.
What I mean? Like
exactly.
That's the thing. But
we
like,
can catch it, we could treat it. We know how to.
But there's still over 8 million people dead worldwide.
Yeah.
You know.
Imagine if we treated like our COVID patients like this, though. Like, say we just sent them out to
you get COVID, you just go to an island, like you just repurpose Long Island for COVID patients.
Exactly, or like Martha's Vineyard.
Yeah, fuck them.
What do you think though? Would that be a good thing or would that be a bad thing?
That would be terrible.
Yeah, it'd be awful.
Today it would be terrible because we have modern.
But we're
medicine.
Gonna do it anyway.
Like we have modern medicine. But yes, like I would not like if we were alive today. but had not technologically advanced past the 14th or 15th century,
That's probably where you'd be
100%
going.
what we would be doing.
Yeah,
We would
absolutely.
100% be sending people to like Puerto Rico or Jamaica, like one of those islands down there, potentially, where it's just like, it's a small space. Here you go. That's it. F off.
Yep. Goodbye.
Yeah.
You go there to die now.
Oh, dude, could you imagine? That's so fucked up.
No, dude, that is pretty fucked up.
All right. So from the 16th century on, Poveglia Island housed plague victims, and many breathed their last and were cremated or buried in mass graves. But the island became even more important in Venice's epidemic prevention plans in the 18th century.
Just keeps unraveling.
Yeah, because like I said, remember, the bubonic plague kept coming back.
Yeah,
So,
right.
like, it never went away because don't forget, like, there's no modern medicine. So like they got the plague under control, but it always comes back.
Yeah, it went away, and then some sort of animal brought it back.
Or yeah, something. So in 1777, Venice's Magistrate of Health turned Poveglia Island into its primary plague checkpoint. Any ship sailing to Venice had to stop at Poveglia first for an inspection. If any sailors showed signs of plague, Venice quarantined them on Poveglia Island.
Take the temps, see if they're systematic. You
had
know,
the PPE.
no.
You had all the PPE.
Yeah.
PPE.
Everyone's wearing a mask.
Poveglia Island remained an important plague quarantine site until 1814, and owing to its haunting legacy as the city's go-to quarantine station for the plague, Venetians began calling Poveglia Island the Island of Ghosts.
Sure.
So adding to Poveglia's dark history, in 1922, Venetians transformed the island by building a mental hospital there. Naturally, rumors spread that the doctor at the hospital carried out morbid experiments on his patients, only to reportedly have died after falling from a bell tower on the island.
So, I gotta ask, are these, about this doctor, are these rumors, or are these, like, confirmed, or...
Yes.
What, like, is it just kind of like legend says he was crazy and experimented, or is it like documented that guy was crazy?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. I mean,
I think
it doesn't really like change anything.
Yeah, no,
but I'm just curious.
I don't think there's any actual documentation of him doing those experiments, but like it was generally just like accepted that he was.
There's no source. Can't back that up.
There's no proof. I have about as much proof as that he was experimenting on those patients as Giuliani has about voter fraud right now.
Yep.
At the time of this taping. At the current
at the time of this taping. November 20th.
8:30 p.m. November 20th. At this particular moment, I have just as much evidence about experiments being performed on Poveglia Island as Rudy Giuliani does about voter fraud. Anyway, the hospital, Chris. Let's get back to the hospital. It closed its doors in 1968.
Okay.
Leaving Poveglia Island once again abandoned. Not surprisingly, stories of plague victims and now abused psychiatric patients haunting Poveglia Island continue to this day.
Dude, it's just like if dead people aren't enough for your haunted island, you just add a mix of mentally ill dead people.
Ugh.
Yeah, check that box right off.
Oh my God.
Jesus Christ, dude.
All right, so in 2014, we're jumping all the way ahead to there. Venice unsuccessfully tried to auction off the island, but the deal fell through and the island's status remained in limbo. Today, the Island of Ghosts is completely off limits to visitors. It is illegal to go there unless you work for the Travel Channel and probably pay the Italian government a bunch of money to film.
Yeah, absolutely. Or if there's like some sort of blockbuster, filming or movie going on, yeah, they could open it right up. Come on.
Absolutely. But you can't just like get in a little
Italy
rowboat.
says pay me.
Can't get in a gondola.
Maybe. Maybe what if you had would you have a bag of money, like one of those sacks with like $1
Just
bill on
jump
it?
in a gondola and be like, here is a fucking
Satchel of bills.
a cartoon themed sack of money. Take me to Poveglia Island.
How would you react to that? I think I would just laugh.
If there was money inside of it, I wouldn't give a shit how it was presented to me.
Yeah, that's fair, I guess. I'll take the satchel.
True story, bro. Actually, I'd prefer the bag with a giant dollar bill on it, but
less conspicuous.
Yeah, this is definitely not what it looks like.
No one's gonna think it is. I mean, how stupid would you have to be to walk
absolutely.
around?
No one would actually think there's money in there.
Yeah.
Oh my god. All right, I digress. Well, if the thousands upon thousands of dead people weren't enough to cause this island to be haunted, there's also a mental hospital to cover. We covered some places like this when we did the haunted prison episodes, but those weren't flat out insane asylums, right? Those were prisons. But here is just some of the crazy stuff that has happened on that island.
Oh, I'm ready for it.
Supposedly.
I'm sure it's gonna be pretty lighthearted.
Oh yeah, it's a bunch of really just like fun stuff.
Nice.
Poveglia Island still happens to be home to thriving grape vineyards. Nearly the only people who dare visit the island these days are those who go seasonally to harvest the fruit. Grapevines must do well in ashy soil because it has been said that more than 50% of the island's soil is composed of human ash. It wasn't a joke before. It's actually believed to be 50-50.
Jesus, that's crazy. And so we're gonna go back. It's Hollywood and winemakers.
Yes,
they can
but it's
go
also
there
Italy,
as well.
so you kind of have to just accept the
Right.
wine part.
Yeah. Well, listen. I mean, they got that nice 50-50 blend of human ash and soil. It makes a nice nutritious blend. It's a nice wine. Like, I can ignore that. It's Italy, for Christ's sake.
Yes. Poveglia, a nice red blend.
Very red blend.
Very red. A very red blend. Poveglia wine, a very red blend. That's so fucked up. I'm so happy that people died there like hundreds of years ago as opposed to like this is one of those too soon moments.
Yeah. Then someone gets in touch with you and is just like, I'll have you know, my great-great-grandma.
If we ever get famous, that's the first t-shirt I'm making.
Yeah.
Poveglia Island, a very red blend.
A very red blend.
Oh, my God. Anyway, oh, my God. Okay, compose yourself. Poveglia legend tells of a particularly demented doctor who worked at the island's mental hospital in the early 20th century. His notorious experiments on patients are still shocking when told today. For instance, he believed that lobotomies were a great way to treat and cure mental illness. So he performed lobotomies on numerous patients, usually against their will. The procedures were heinously wicked and painful, and he used hammers, chisels, and drills with no anesthesia or concern for sanitation.
Fantastic. It's the perfect crime, right?
Yes, nice guy.
And no one's going to believe the guy who just had a lobotomy that you just
because they're crazy to begin with.
Right.
So, fuck him.
Yeah, no one's going to believe you. Right. Again, it's a perfect crime.
He
disgusting to say.
He supposedly saved his darkest experiments for special patients, whom he took to the hospital's bell tower. Whatever he did in there, the screams from those being tortured could be heard across the island.
Oh, Jesus, no. I mean, who needs the bell, right?
Yeah.
Just fucking stab a dude up there. Have him scream out. It's good.
But karma eventually caught up with the wicked doctor. According to the story, the doctor began to suffer his own mental torture and was pursued by the island's multitude of ghosts. Eventually, he lost his mind and climbed to the top of the bell tower and flung himself to his death below. And there are varying accounts of his death. Some say he might have actually been pushed, either by an angry island spirit or some of his furious patients.
Yeah, all right. I mean, good riddance.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Either way.
Who cares? We'll push them. Get them out of here. Reduce them to ash, make a wine.
Hey, as long as he hit the ground like a fly hits the windshield, who gives a shit how it happened?
Exactly.
Which reminds me, my dad used to tell this joke every time we hit a fly when we were driving on the highway. What's the last thing to go through a fly's mind when it hits your windshield?
The windshield?
It's ass.
It's what?
It's ass.
It's ass. Gotcha.
Ha ha!
Good dad moment
Dad
there.
jokes, baby. There is another part to this sadistic doctor story, by the way, that's worth mentioning. The legend says that one way or another, he fell to his death from the mental hospital's infamous bell tower. Maybe he fell, maybe he was pushed. However, some elaborate on the legend and claim that the doctor was seized, still alive, by some of his lobotomized patients and bricked up in the wall of the bell tower. Other versions say that patients placed him in the tower after he was dead.
So I like that even this doctor's death is just a wild myth as well. With
everything.
like, no, like it's just like, who cares? It's like, ooh, some say he's still alive listening to this podcast today. This is a crazy doctor. He's coming for us
He
now.
would be like 130 years old if he was listening today. But still,
Yeah, it could happen.
spooky.
Maybe he's a necromancer.
Oh, God, that'd be great.
Maybe.
Well, locals to this day claim that the doctor's spirit is still in the tower and will remain there forever, and that on a quiet night, if you listen closely, you can hear him ring the tower bell.
Okay. Well, that would be creepy. Bell tolling in the middle of the night, dead at night, no one else on the island, just
Yeah.
Doctor Spirit.
Doctor
Right.
Spirit.
Dr. Spirit, give it a ring.
The new flavor from Dr. Pepper. Dr. Spirit.
Dr. Spirit. Paging Dr. Spirit.
It's got 50 different flavors. Fuck Dr. Pepper. They're 23. We got 50.
Yep.
Visitors to Poveglia have been forbidden for decades. Of course, that doesn't stop the occasional thrill seeker from taking a boat over to the island. Some look at it as a dare. Others are genuinely interested in experiencing a bit of the paranormal. However, all who venture there return shaken. One thing visitors report experiencing is the sensation of being watched. Others report being scratched and pushed by invisible forces. No thanks.
I wish I can go there and experience that myself. And I'm not bluffing. Like, I want to experience.
I'm down. I'm absolutely
like
down. Because if I walk upstairs and say, Jill, Chris and I are going to take you and Jess to Italy because we want to film a podcast in Venice, I'm sure Jess would feel the same way. She would not give a fuck because she'll get to experience Italy.
Yeah.
While we just make total asses of ourselves on an island almost dying.
Yeah. Anywhere, really. Like, I just want to experience a paranormal happening because, again, I just, like, never sensed anything paranormal like that, like ghost encounter. So.
I feel you. Some entities have been said to push visitors into walls or chase them down corridors because I guess the mental hospital still stands.
Yeah. Well, it happened in Ghost Adventures. I saw it with my own 2 eyes. So.
Dude, I don't buy those. Like, I believe in ghosts. I believe in ghosts. But I don't buy.
Oh, you don't buy Ghost Adventures?
I don't buy those paranormal TV shows at all.
No?
No, not even
Why?
a little bit. Because just because you go to a haunted place does not mean you are going to have a paranormal experience.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that's my main thing. Is like, not everybody experiences the paranormal. So to say, oh, we're in this paranormal, it's just by coincidence. Every single time they go to a paranormal place, they have a paranormal experience. It's just so amazing that happens. It's so convenient for them considering they have a television show. And if they didn't have a paranormal experience, I mean, who would watch?
Right. No, I get it. I totally get it. And yeah, dude, I don't know. It's good entertainment, but
yeah. I mean,
you'd feel like they would have had something more concrete by now.
I don't buy those shows, but I enjoy those shows.
Yeah.
Because it's great. It's so great to like listen to them and watch them like walk around with the night vision, be like, did you guys hear that? Like nothing happened.
Yeah.
absolutely nothing happened, but they're just like, did you guys hear that? Oh, something touched me. Oh.
Oh yeah, and I like absolutely believe like people have like different sensories than each other. So it's just like, just because he's going in there and flipping out every 5 seconds, it doesn't mean I don't believe him. But like, I mean, look how it looks though. It's just like this dude flipping out on camera because he's in a dark, scary room and can't see anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, good TV though.
Yes. With a history like that of Poveglia Island, it stands to reason that the spirits of the tortured patients at the mental hospital would join up with the innumerable spirits of plague victims. And visitors to the hospital during its final years of operation, as well as illegal visitors since then, have reported harrowing paranormal experiences inside the buildings and on the grounds. Visitors report seeing shadows on the walls moving along with them as they explore the decaying facility.
I love it when people are like, I saw a shadow on the wall, like looking for ghosts, when light's involved and all that good shit. It's just like everything casts a shadow, bro.
Is the moon out?
Yeah, exactly. Yep. It's just like, everything will cast a shadow.
Where's the moon?
Yeah.
Because there could be a shadow on the wall that's yours.
There's a shadow. And it's moving with the light source. It's so
moving,
weird.
It's moving with you as you walk through a hallway.
Yeah.
Is it your shadow? Well, there's been a handful of psychics who have been brought to the island, and they all have claimed that there is an energy that can only be described as malignant, with the presence of angry spirits lingering there so deeply frightening psychics and paranormal experts that most of them refuse to ever return.
Yeah, like Miss Cleo. Haven't seen her since.
Correct. And I have not called her for my free tarot reading. I should get on that.
You were still owed one. We were offered it back then. I'm cashing in.
Call
Miss
me
Cleo.
now. Call me now.
Come on. Phone psychics.
With more than 100,000 plague victims and mental patients buried on the small island of Poveglia, it's no surprise that human bones continue to wash up on its shores. This fact alone is enough to creep out any potential visitors or buyers or even fishermen steering clear of Poveglia's shallows for fear of picking up human bones in their nets.
Yeah, I see that. That's gross. I get
gross.
that.
It's super gross. Years after Poveglia Island's mental hospital was shut down, a family decided to purchase the island, intending to build a private holiday home there. They arrived and got settled, and on the first day, excited to begin their new adventure, but that very first night was filled with such horrors that within hours, the family fled, never to return.
Okay.
They actually reported that their daughter's face was nearly ripped off by a angry resident entity.
Nope. I'm going to need proof on that one, JR. I didn't see that on our news today.
Well,
you're going to have to show that to me.
Our news,
on
our
world
news is pretty much our politics right now, so let's calm down, okay? Because there's plenty
our
of news
world
out there.
news, okay?
Yeah, all right? That's number one. Number two, our world news wouldn't be reporting something that happened 30 years ago, Chris. Okay?
All right. We'll find it on
there wasn't even, I don't even think there
me.
was our news 30 years ago. Was Reddit even around?
Pull up the
30 years
Snopes
ago?
page. No. I need the Snopes page. Was the internet around 30 years ago?
1990?
Was it?
If it was, you were dialing up. That's for sure.
Yeah. I think it was amended in 91.
Or 95. I don't know.
Yeah.
Regardless,
I'm going to need a source on that.
Poveglia Island is fucked up, dude.
Yes. Agreed. Yeah. That's, again, and God, just the sheer amount of people that died there.
Yeah.
It's horrifying. And the fact that it's so full of dead people nutrients that it's a great vineyard is also weird and fucked up.
The fact that the fucking soil is 50% human ash is enough for me to be like, dude, fuck this.
Yep. Absolutely.
But I would 100% love to visit.
You would what?
I would 100% love to visit.
Oh yeah, me too.
During the day.
Yeah.
The middle
During the
of
day?
the day.
Yeah, okay.
Like noon. I am not staying there for more than an hour, and it will be from noon to 1.
High noon to 1.
High noon to 1 o'clock. That's it. Fuck that noise. I will not be
Nothing
there when
else
the
for
sun is
JR.
coming up. I will not be there when the sun is coming down. I want daylight.
That makes sense.
Day-o. Day-o.
I'd stay there overnight. Fuck it.
Fuck that, dude. See,
Not by myself. I'm too chicken to do it by myself.
No.
I need a buddy.
I would need a fucking camp. I
Okay.
would need at least a small platoon.
Me and Joe will do it.
What if all 4 guys spent a night on Poveglia Island?
Let's do it. Is that enough? Is that enough of a camp for you?
No, absolutely not. It's not. And I'm not going there without wrought iron weapons and shotgun shells packed with salt. If we're staying overnight, F that noise. I don't care. I'm taking every actual ghost hunting precaution there is.
At least a shotgun full of salt.
Yeah.
Is that real?
Clearly, you've never watched Supernatural.
I guess not.
Dude, so apparently if you stand in a circle of Epsom salts, or salt, like any kind of salt,
Yeah.
ghosts can't penetrate the circle. If the circle gets broken, then you're fucked and you die. But if you're in the circle of salt, they can't bother you, and they're weak against iron, like fireplace, like pokers, like stuff like that.
Okay.
Like the old timey, and they're weak against salt. So like you just pack shotgun shells filled with salt instead of bullets, and you use them to shoot the ghosts and make them go away.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Then I'll do it.
Yeah. All right. I don't know if your salt gun's gonna help in real life, but
I don't know
we'll
either,
get you
but
one.
it's better than fucking not having it.
That's fair.
They actually make salt shooters. Like you don't need an actual shotgun. Like they make salt shooters.
That's true. They kill flies.
Yep.
I've seen them.
Yep.
They're pretty cool.
I know. I saw one and I was like, well, that's neat.
Yeah.
I want that.
It does too. It just gets those fuckers right out of the air and like pretty much kills them dead.
Poof,
It's
done.
so nice.
Just dead.
Yep.
Then you walk over to them with a fucking shoe and you smash their faces in.
Yep. Fuck that shit. You desecrate them
That's
for
right.
being
The
in
last
your
thing-
kitchen.
And the last thing that goes through their minds before they die is their ass.
Their ass.
Their ass. All right. That's how we'll wrap up this week on the Mystery in Our History podcast. Be sure to check out our website, 4guysmedia.com, for news updates and a list of all of our podcasts. And we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye. Bye.